I happen to agree on the importance of continued U.S. control of top domain names such as .mil or .gov. In 2015, you testified that you would, quote, take a look and make sure that if there is a way we can strengthen the U.S. government's rights to those names, we will do it, end of quote. And while NTIA and ICANN affirmed that, quote, any change made to .milcon or .gov can only be made with the express approval of the U.S. government, end of quote, we've come to learn that the affirmation has come not through a binding legal agreement, but by a mere exchange of letters, and it remains possible that ICANN could redelegate these. Why is the administration content to receive so little assurance, a mere letter, instead of a binding legal agreement from ICANN? And follow-up question, has the NTIA consulted with the Justice Department, a member of the DNS Interagency Working Group, regarding this language? And if so, what was their response?
So your answer to your first question is the United States does not wish to cede any sovereignty that we may have over .mil and .gov, and that is why we have done this as an exchange of letters. The United States, prior to the creation of ICANN, had the complete authority and control over .mil and .gov. That condition exists today, and it will continue on in the future. To enter into a contract with ICANN would in some respects risk indicating that ICANN has rights in the control or authority over those names that it does not have today. And so in evaluating the desirability of doing a contract, it became clear, understanding the history of these domain names, that that actually was a risky maneuver and might lead to the United States ceding some form of authority over these names that we enjoy today.
What about consulting with the Justice Department?
Well, we consulted with the Department of Defense because it operates .mil. I don't recall whether there was a specific discussion with the Department of Justice about it, but this was the course of action that the operator of .mil wished to take in terms of doing this as an exchange of letters as opposed to doing a contract.
Mr. Marby, is ICANN opposed to executing a binding legal agreement with the administration that would ensure that the U.S. continue to control certain top-level domains like the ones I mentioned permanently into the future?
I think it's up to the U.S. government to decide how it likes to have their protection. I will emphasize we don't see that we have any rights over that today. And I also would like to restate the fact that if the transition doesn't go through and ICANN is replaced with something else, which we can be technically, there will be no safe haven for those names.
Let me ask you, Mr. Marby, something that Senator Coons has touched on. In your testimony, you explained that ICANN, place of incorporation, isn't a settled matter, and that it and the location of ICANN's headquarters could potentially change. Your predecessor went so far as to announce in 2014 that ICANN board had, quote, given him the green light to begin working on the creation of a parallel legal international structure member in Switzerland for ICANN, end of quote. No matter how much the administration and ICANN wish to downplay this issue, it's one that many people are rightly concerned about, and it's an issue that hasn't truly been settled. So, is ICANN opposed to including requirements in ICANN's bylaws to definitively ensure that ICANN's place of incorporation never changes from California, or is it impossible and a reason why this transition shouldn't go forward?
I think we fairly say that the protection is stronger than just its bylaws. The whole concept of ICANN is built around Californian law. That's the charter of how we do things. So to be able to do, you have to go all the way down to how we are organized to be able to do that. So it's a stronger protection than just the bylaws.
Mr. Chairman, I'm done.
Mr. Marby, let's.
Could I have 15 seconds, please?
Sure.
I thought that Mr. Marby answered my question, and then Senator Lee followed up. I'd like to know from you, for clarification, whether or not it is in the bylaws. Is there no way that you can sit here and definitively assure me that ICANN's place of incorporation will never change?
First of all, let me explain a little bit about my role. I'm the CEO and president of the ICANN organization, which is a supporting organization to the community and the board. Any decision that is made, it has to be made by the community and not by me. That's the way that this is set up. I'm here to execute the wishes of the community.
Okay, so you can't assure us then that it's always going to be under California law in California?
To be able to change where we are, because of the fact that we built upon California law, we have the charters and the bylaws are built upon California law. I would say it will be a very hard thing to do. I think it would be easier to start a new ICANN elsewhere with no California law as a basis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's, Mr. Marby, stay focused on this question.